Hi, and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast. I am Chrissy and I am the Mum Boss. And today is my final Mum Boss at Home check-in episode. Going forward on a weekly basis, you'll be getting a different topic from me around fitness, nutrition, menopause, parenting, all sorts of things, mindset, boundaries. This is the last of the Mum Boss at Home community check-in podcast. So I've got some really chunky questions here that I wanted to bring up. A couple of wins that I firstly wanted to share. But in fact, before I do that, I just wanted to explain actually why this is the last Mum Boss at Home community check-in. So I started the Mum Boss at Home community back in January of this year. So it's been going now for 10 months and I have helped over 25 women through the community to reach their goals. But one of the things that I realised in September is that whilst the community is amazing and the ladies are all brilliant, and I'm just putting on some lip balm while I'm talking to you, and the ladies are amazing, the ladies are brilliant, and I absolutely believe in the work that I do. Having a low cost membership option, because the Mum Boss at Home community was the cheapest way that you could work with me on a monthly basis. It was roughly the cost of a gym membership, depending on what gym you went to. Actually just didn't allow me to get close enough to my clients to enable me to really help them with the work that they needed to do on their health, their nutrition, their mindset, particularly their mindset around fat loss, around dieting, around exercise, around food going forwards. And so I decided in September that I was going to be closing the Mum Boss at Home community at the end of October and focus purely on my one-to-one coaching and the Last Diet Club, which is my hybrid one-to-one and group program, and they're both online. And the reason is that I need to have that one-to-one contact with my clients. I need to be able to get up close and personal and really dig into some of the beliefs, the mindset barriers, the blocks, and help them on a really close and granular level in order to get them the results that they want. And I just can't do that in a community-based program. I can't get close enough to my clients to do that. I can't give them the amount of attention and support that I need in such high volume. So I decided to close the program. And what this means is that some of the ladies decided to transfer over into one-to-one and higher touch programs, which is amazing, and I'm really, really enjoying helping them now. But what it does mean, this means that the work that I do with my clients is completely focused on them. Whatever way you choose to work with me, whether it's one-to-one or the Last Diet Club online, you will get a level of one-to-one service, which is not something I could offer in the Mum Boss at Home community. So this enables me to make sure that I am serving my clients in the best possible way. And I'm really sad to be closing the Mum Boss at Home program, but I know that the ladies that I'm saying goodbye to are going to do amazing. And yeah, so if you are interested in working with me one-to-one or in the Last Diet Club hybrid group program, check the links in the show notes where you can find all of the details. Okay, let's crack on with this episode then. So I want to share two wins with you. So Lisa's Close the Feeling Loose, and people are noticing how much weight she's lost. And Helen got 3 workouts in, 1 Pilates and 2 of my workouts. Well done. Amazing wins from both of you. Now we've got 2 really chunky questions here that I wanted to spend quite a bit of time on, questions/challenges, and actually they're really quite personal things, but I'm sure that lots of you will resonate with these as well. So the first one is Someone made a really hurtful comment to me saying, "Ugh, you're looking too skinny." This made me feel very judged. I hate that people can impact how I feel about myself. And the question is, how do I respond to negative comments around my weight loss? I feel great in my body now, and the comment that was made really knocked me. It's made me feel conscious about eating around this person now. Okay, so firstly, I love that you are feeling great in your body. That's amazing, and I'm super proud of you and super happy for you. But what I want to really talk about is how you can make this show up differently for yourself. And some of what I'm about to say to you might feel like I'm being really quite not tough love, but it might sound really simple and really obvious, but it's not. So what I want to say is, firstly, don't take it personally. And that's going to sound really, really stupid. Like, okay, Chrissy, but it is personal. It was a comment made about me. So how do you expect me not to take it personally? This comment is likely coming from someone who feels something negatively about themselves. So it's them projecting how they negatively feel back on you. And that's an awful thing for them to do. But actually what it shows is they don't really know how to deal with their own feelings. Now, this could be, and I don't know the person, I wouldn't want to make assumptions. It could be jealousy. It could be that they haven't managed to, that they maybe want to lose weight and they have struggled to. It could be that they feel a bit threatened that you're, maybe exhibiting some confidence that you maybe didn't have before, and that makes them feel really uncomfortable. It's a little bit like, we talked about this in the summer. I don't know if you remember when I was in France, but someone made a comment about, or asked a question on check-in, how do I stop the negative comments about me not wanting to drink? And I think this is really similar to that, in that you really have to remember that these things come from someone who feels negatively about themselves, right? And actually, it really isn't about you, it's about them. Now, it doesn't make it right that people say these things, and I'm not saying, oh, poor them, but you can, like, that does help you to deal with it a little bit more if you consider, oh, it's really sad that they must feel quite negatively about themselves. But try not to take it personally. Okay, it's often them projecting their discomfort about the situation onto you. The second question I want to ask you is what they're saying true or false? Okay, the same as I would say this about someone who got a comment about them being boring because they're not drinking. Is that true or is that false? Are you boring because you're not drinking? Have you lost too much weight? Are you too skinny? I mean, aside from the fact, who in their right mind thinks it's okay to comment on someone's body like that? I don't know. But again, that just speaks volumes about this other person if they think it's okay to comment on, the amount of weight you've lost. But is what they're saying true or false? Do you feel like you've lost too much weight? Do you feel like you look in the mirror and you're unhappy with the way you look? I don't think you do, because you've commented that you're really happy. So, okay, it's not true. It's not true. And then the last one, and this is so difficult to accept, but what others think about you is nothing to do with you. We are all different people, right? We're all different. We all like different things. We all dislike different things. And therefore, people are going to have completely different thoughts and feelings and different opinions about everything. And that includes your appearance, rightly or wrongly. By the way, I think it's wrong. But we're all different. You can't control the other person. You can't control their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions. But what you can control is you. And if you let their negative comments negatively impact you, then this is on you. That's your responsibility. You are allowing them to make you feel a certain way, and you don't have to. But it's your responsibility. I want you to deeply take responsibility, even say to yourself, I take responsibility for allowing Jane to make me feel negatively about my body. That's my fault. It's not your fault because you've lost body fat. It's not your fault because you've got newfound confidence. It's your fault for allowing it to negatively impact you, right? It's your responsibility. You can choose what does and does not affect you. Okay, and I know that sounds so much easier said than done, but I think the second big chunky question that I'm going to answer today links into this as well. Because we absolutely can choose to behave, react, respond, and think different thoughts. We can. I'm going to go into this in a little bit more detail in a minute, but I woke up in a bit of a grumpy mood this morning, posted about it on my social media, and I had to really work hard on my walk this morning to actively choose to think differently about myself, about my day, about the fact, about everything that was going on that day. Right, I started off that walk in a bit of a grump with my husband because, get this, he can't find the dog's light up collar. Like, the dog's light up collar has completely disappeared, and he was using it the other day and he can't find it. Now, that collar could have fallen off when he was walking the dog. It could have accidentally been put in the bin by the cleaners. Like, it could be anywhere. And I was about to get in a mood about it. How ridiculous, right? But it was because of so much other stuff. And I actively had to choose to think differently, to feel differently. And I did. It took a 20-minute walk, but I did. You can choose to think and feel differently. You just have to practice doing it. So I want you to take responsibility for allowing, and I use that word really, really intentionally. You have to take responsibility for allowing that other person to make you feel a certain way, and you need to actively choose to think differently about it. And believe me, I know this is hard. Like, there's some stuff going on in my life at the moment that swims around in my head rent-free negatively, and I have to actively choose to think differently about it. And it takes practice, but you can do it. But you need to start by you've given away your power. You have given away your power by allowing that person to make you feel like this. Take that power back, accept responsibility, and then change the narrative in your head. You know it's not true. You are feeling really super confident and comfortable in your body. Hold on to that instead of holding on to the negative comments from other people that say more about them than it does about you. Okay, passion. Okay, this one is going to be again quite chunky. I've got some journaling prompts, so if you are someone that finds yourself constantly wanting treats and you can't often stop at one, this is going to be for you. Okay, so this is the question: treats, I still want them. I eat lots of protein and veg, but I still want the treats, though I eat so much less than I used to. So this person definitely does. Now, I'm going to say here that this is not a question of hunger. Okay, this person, I'm pretty confident, is eating plenty within their meals. So, but just in case, let's belt and braces it. Just double check you are eating over 100 grams of protein every day, and double check you are getting 5 good portions of fruit and veg a day for me, right? So belt and braces, check that. Are you sure you're having like 100 grams of protein, a good amount of protein in breakfast, lunch, and dinner? and all of your fruit and veg. Good. Once you know you're doing that, then you know this is not hunger. And knowing this person, I don't think it is hunger, okay? So the first thing I want to say is you're using the word treats. Let's change the language, okay? I personally like indulgences, but you consider the word that you like. Language is so important. The work of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, shows us this. There's lots and lots of research that shows us the language we use to talk to ourselves and about ourselves is so important, and to talk about other things in the world. So let's think about that word treat. That word treat is it's connected to reward. It's connected to I deserve, right? So I want you to think about this. If you treat yourself every day, it actually isn't a treat, is it? Put it alongside this. We need to eat every day. Eating isn't a treat, although, eating is a treat for the people out in the world that are starving. I just wanted to acknowledge that. But for us, lucky that we are, fortunate that we are, eating isn't a treat. It's a basic need. So the example I'm going to use through talking about this is chocolate brownies, okay? Eating a chocolate brownie every day isn't a treat. It just becomes part of your daily diet, okay? So some practical tips, but again, knowing this person, I think they know the practical tips. I think tips, not tits. I think they've been practicing the practical tips for quite a long time. But some practical tips for those of you that are maybe listening, that this is quite a new, you've not heard me say this before. So if you eat it less often, you will enjoy it more. Okay. I know that since I went on this journey myself, coming from someone who used to drink wine regularly, most weekends, I would have a takeaway pretty much every weekend. I would have loads of chocolate, all of those things I considered a treat, when really I was using the term treat as an excuse just to have it, if I'm being really honest. If you eat or drink it less often, you will enjoy it more. I had 2 small glasses of red wine yesterday. We actually opened a bottle of red wine on Saturday evening. We had a glass each on Saturday evening, and then we finished the bottle yesterday, which equated to 2 small glasses each, right? So now, I used to do, when I lived in London, I would have a bottle of wine on Thursday night. When I got home from work, I'd have probably 2 bottles of wine out. After work on a Friday, I'd probably have another bottle of wine on a Saturday, and then I'd have some more wine on a Sunday, right? I had, like I say, across this weekend, 3 small glasses of wine. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed that wine. And it was so nice. I really acknowledged how just having 1 glass of wine on Saturday night and being okay with just 1 glass of wine was so nice, right? So if you eat or drink it less often, you will enjoy it more. It's as simple as that. When I have a takeaway now, I really enjoy it because we don't have it as often anymore. The second thing is enjoy it mindfully, okay? Sit down, say we are talking about the chocolate brownie. Sit down, make a cup of tea, eat it slowly. Like, again, Tom made some carrot cake. Tom makes amazing carrot cake. It would be really easy for me to go down there. It's 3:30 as I'm recording this. I'm quite tired, as you're going to hear shortly. It would be really easy for me to go down there and just cut off a little slither of that cake and pop it in my mouth. But I'm not going to, because actually what I'm going to do is enjoy it later with a cup of tea. The cake will be on a cake plate. I will have a cake fork and I will eat it slowly and mindfully, okay? And then I know I will enjoy it more. Okay, there's some of the practical tips. But as I said, I think with most people, this comes down to mindset. And for this person in particular, I think this is down to mindset. So I've got a little process I want you to follow. You might want to listen to this, pause it, write down some of these questions, and just have a think and a journal and a little bit of a reflect on what we're talking about, right? So this is an overview of something that we're working on in the Last Diet Club at the moment, when it comes to like treats, and maybe often it's often overeating on sugary or very carby, highly processed things. Okay, so often you treat yourself because you feel that you deserve it for making it through your day, right? Or because something's triggering you and it helps you to emotionally cope with something that's uncomfortable. Your brain has been trained to use, don't forget we're using brownies as our standard example here, but if your trigger food, if the thing you go for is, a bag of really crunchy, savory crisps, that's fine. Just swap in brownies for crisps. Your brain has been trained to use brownies to deal with something upsetting or stressful or generally just uncomfortable. But you can train it to do something different. It just requires acknowledgement and awareness and time and practice and patience. Okay, so here's a little step-by-step process that you can journal on. Firstly, what's the trigger that has led you to eating the brownies? So we're going to make up an example. So someone has upset you, and you want to go and eat brownies. So the trigger is someone that is upsetting you. So I'm going to use my own example here, right? So today someone upset me. Okay. Now, so that's the trigger. Someone has upset me. Someone has made me feel a negative feeling, because upset can mean lots of things, can't it? It could mean anger, it could mean frustration, it could mean hurt, lots of things. Now I want you to consider what's the triggering event, right? Now I want you to consider, were there any other contributing factors? So, for example, for me this morning, I have been awake since 4 a.m. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I'm tired. Okay. The thing that upset me really wasn't a big deal, but I've already been awake since 4 a.m. By the time this happened, I'd been up for over 5 hours. I'm already very tired. So my contributing factor to the trigger is I'm tired. The contributing factor could be I'm late for an appointment. The contributing factor could be Charlie has stressed me out. The contributing factor, which actually was a contributing factor to my day yesterday, was the dog rolling in fox poo. Lovely. So what are the contributing factors? Okay. It's not just the trigger, it's what else is going on for you at the time. Okay. Now, the third thing I want you to consider is what you're telling yourself in the moment about that situation. For me, okay, it was, you're tired, you've not slept well, it's going to be a bad day, and then one comment from someone proves it's going to be a bad day, makes me right. But what I also then tell myself is people, one comment, one unhappy person, people are generally unhappy with me. I have all of a sudden turned one person into everyone. The general population is unhappy with me. Okay, so consider the story you're telling yourself about the situation. Okay, what are you making that situation about? For me this morning, someone wasn't very happy with me, and I turned that into no one is happy with me. Okay, and then you need to ask yourself how much of what you're thinking is true. Was I tired? Yes, I was 100% tired. Do I know that the comment from the other person meant that they were unhappy with me? Now, I'm not going to tell you the comment, but I can absolutely tell you that I just inferred they weren't happy with me, when actually they were just telling me they couldn't do something I suggested. Okay. Do I 100% know the rest of my day is going to be bad? Or that one person's comment means that they're unhappy with me, or that everyone else is unhappy with me? No, I don't 100% know that any of that is true. All of that is just my inference, my perception of the situation, and the stories I'm telling myself compounding, right? So therefore, I can deduce that the story I'm telling myself is not 100% true. Might be partly true, but it's not 100% true. It's not a fact, okay? Now, I want you to think about the consequences of the actions that you're taking, okay? This happened, I immediately thought of the carrot cake downstairs. I mean, we were going with chocolate brownie as our example, but chocolate brownie, carrot cake, both delicious, right? I could go and eat the chocolate brownie or the carrot cake to make myself feel better. But the reality is, the consequence is, it would make me feel better in that time it was taking for me to eat it. Then I would want more. Then I would go about straightening the edges of that carrot cake. And whilst one slice of carrot cake or one brownie is okay, if I continue to eat, I'm moving away from my goal and not towards it. And the consequence is that I won't be happy with my lack of progress, and I'll probably feel a bit crap for eating so much sugar. Okay, so you've done all this reflection on a situation. That's what I recommend you do. You think about the last time you kind of went a bit mad on the treats. Okay. But then we need to think about what we're going to do next time this happens. And for me, I've learned through the work that I've done on myself, I need to articulate this to someone else, how I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and how my body wants me to respond. So eat the brownie, be grumpy, expect the rest of the day to be rubbish. I also need to look at what's really going on here. What's the truth of the situation? I'm tired. Fact. One person has made one comment that seems is a comment. They've not said it. They've not actually specifically said, I'm not very happy with you, Chrissy. They've made a comment that I've assumed is that they're unhappy with me. That does not mean everyone is unhappy with me. And it also doesn't mean that brownies are going to change the situation. Okay. Now I'm going back to the first point about the first comment I made on this podcast around other people making not very nice comments about weight loss, right? You can't control other people. That's impossible, right? That's impossible. You can't control what other people say and do to you. You can't control all the situations that may or may not happen in your life. But what you can control is how you respond to them. And as I said at the beginning, your brain is trained to respond to stressful, upsetting, frustrating, unhappy situations by telling you to eat something to make you feel better. But you can retrain it to do other things. Okay, so how might this work with treats? Because I've kind of talked about it in terms of, eating a brownie or eating carrot cake. I want you to think about, firstly, what you're treating yourself for. Okay, you've personally said you still want them. Ask yourself, are you eating too many treats? And what is too many? And by whose standards? And is it slowing your progress? So as an example, I might have a biscuit, a chocolate digestive every day, and say, I'm eating too many treats. What? Because I'm having one chocolate digestive every day. If you were having 6 chocolate digestives every day, yeah, that probably is slowing down your progress or halting your progress. And it probably is, quite an excessive amount of digestive biscuits. So I'd like you to really look objectively at the situation and ask yourself, well, how many treats am I actually having? Don't forget to change the term treats. How many am I having? How many is too many? And what actually is a more sensible amount? And then what I want you to do is consider what the triggers are. It could be a person, it could be a situation, it could be a specific time of day, for example. I know that between 2 and 4 o'clock are my danger zones. They're my danger zones when I'm going to be tired, I'm going to want a caffeinated drink. I've said this before, I'm going to want something sugary because it's my time of day that I dip. And what other factors happen here? So, you know, if I've had a particularly terrible night's sleep, which I did last night, I know that 2 till 4 p.m. could be really quite dangerous for me. Okay. I know that if I get stressed at this time, I'm really gonna be wanting those chocolate brownies. Okay. Then what I want you to do is consider what you're going to do going forward. What are you going to do to change this? So the first thing I'd say is change your language around them. I'd say, like, really use a different word to treat. Okay. I'd say make sure you're going through the practical tips. Make sure you are truly eating enough protein. Make sure you are truly eating enough fruit and veg, that your meals are big enough so that you can honestly say, when it comes to eating those treats, you're not hungry. Okay. And then I'd take yourself through this process. Are you treating yourself for making it through the day? Then I would really get you to challenge yourself on that behavior. You know, making it through the day, yeah, absolutely is something to be celebrated, but what else could you treat yourself with? My treat for making it through the day is that, you know, I get to sit down and have a bit of quiet time and read a book that I'm really enjoying, or a couple of nights a week, because I can't do this every night of the week because I work some evenings, but you know, having my treat is sitting with Tom, watching whatever it is we're watching on TV at the time, and doing a little bit of needlework. Yes, needlework. And occasionally I might have a square or two of chocolate, but I'm okay with a square or two of chocolate. If I was going for, you know, 8 squares of chocolate, that would be different. But are we treating ourselves for making it through the day? Okay, well, what didn't happen in the day that we were scared to happen? What did happen and we got through it? I would suggest that if you're treating yourself for making it through the day, you need to find some other ways of managing your stress, managing your emotions. And then if there's particularly something that triggers you, or a time that triggers you, or a situation that triggers you, work through the step-by-step process, journal on the questions I've given you, and find some alternative ways of dealing with that. So, for example, I haven't had the cake or any chocolate brownie today, even though I'm exhausted, but actually I have kept myself super busy between 2 and 4. And then what I've got to look forward to once I've hit stop on this recording is I've got a little walk with the dog to look forward to keep, you know, just to keep me going until dinner time, and a snack, an apple while I'm doing it. Okay, so I really hope that that little process and that little step by step helps you, um, and that you, yeah, let me know. Like, go through it in your journal. Let me know how you get on. Okay, that's everything. I hope that those 2 points helped you. Again, if you are wondering how you can get some more support and advice from me, check the links in the show notes. I am taking applications now for one-to-one coaching, and the next intake of the Last Diet Club starts on the 11th of November. I would love to have you join. So have an awesome week, and I will speak to you later. Bye bye.